Alright guys, I'm going to come to you with a project. I don't know how quick it's going to be, and it's not blacksmithing, but it's something I think we all would like to know a little bit about. And actually this goes across quite a few boundaries, but if you've been following me, and if you haven't, go back and look. I've had a couple of videos on a table base that I'm making, and the table's sitting right over here. Alright, so I have 3/4 inch square, hand forged legs, and I have a video making the serpentist there. I'm ready to finish this project. We just went to the customer's location, and table fits, everything's good, but we need to now put the finish that they requested on it. And what they're asking for is kind of a rusted, aged finish. I like this. I would clear coat it and be done with it. That's beautiful, beautiful steel. But at the same time, so is that. All right. So this is what we're going to do today. We're going to go ahead and put this finish on that table. So what I did is I purposely rusted it, and then what you see here on the sample is a couple of coats of glossy clear, and that's just a beautiful, beautiful brown color. Get my shirt out of the way, maybe you can see it better. So I'll show you how I do that. Now to start off, and I've rusted things a couple of different ways, and this is actually a new process for me. But you want to start out with clean steel, so degrease if you have to, get everything clean. Since I just made that thing and the grinder's been on it all the time, it's ready to rock and roll. First thing we're going to do is, I got this actually off of Instructables, so you can check it out online there if you want to read about it. They say to pickle it in vinegar, and I'm thinking, well, what the heck is that going to do? And now that I think about it, well, the vinegar is going to etch that steel. It's going to pit it. It's going to make a lot of room for the solution that I use for rusting to stick and to have that depth. So first thing we're going to do is coat this thing in vinegar. I just put plain old, all of this stuff that you're about to see, I just went and got at the grocery store. So you don't need anything fancy to make this happen. Plain old vinegar, spray bottle, makes it pretty easy to do, and I'll just spray it up. Watch. Get it on a mist. And all we want to do is give it a good coating everywhere so that vinegar can go ahead and etch that. Again, use protective equipment if you feel you need to. The wind's not blowing too bad today. Always be safe. Safety third at least. But we want a good coating of vinegar on that. Upside down, inside out. Let it do its etching. Get in all the nooks and crannies. You get bottoms, tops, inside, outside. I think we're good. So we're just going to let that dry on its own. And again, my theory, if you can hear me, I'll get closer to you. So again, my theory on that is that vinegar is going to start etching. It didn't take much. Right? I did that whole table, and of course I'm missing everything, right? Projects like this. But it's just going to put micro pits in, just start eating away a little bit of that steel, so that when this rust solution gets applied, it's got a good chance to sit someplace, So we'll just let that set out in the sun. Here's one project where being in the sun definitely helps you. Having the piece warm and being in the sun to dry for these coats, I think is an important thing. So I'll come back here once this thing's dried up a little. For that dry, let's do a little safety talk, all right? Vinegar doesn't scare me too much, especially the concentration that you get out of the grocery store, but it can hurt you. So, get your eyes covered at least. You shouldn't be breathing this stuff in, so if you're really misting or the wind's blowing at you, you don't want to do that. But like I had my arms exposed and I got some vinegar on there. I can kind of feel the vinegar taking effect in that case. You know, it's not horrible, I'm not concerned, but make sure you have a way to counteract whatever it is that you're using. So as far as the vinegar goes, a little baking soda. You don't want to go rinsing off your arms in water right now. I'll just take a little bit of baking soda and coat my arms with that, and that'll help counteract the vinegar that's there. I hope. Makes sense anyway. So let's let her dry and come back. See that sea serpent in there? If you haven't seen the video on that, that's a one you want to see. I love it when I have a hypothesis and something allows me to prove it true or not. I mentioned I think the vinegar is there to etch the steel, to pit it a little bit. So if you see there's some vinegar sitting in the bottom of these legs, and when I wipe this up, you can actually see there's a color difference there. All right, definitely doing some etching. All right, most definitely, just like you would etch a knife or something like that. So that's interesting. All right, we're pretty much dried up. Let's go ahead and put our special sauce on. Suspicious sauce. Now, the special sauce I have in a different bottle. All right. Now, this is what I did. I'm not going to give you exact measurements, but check out the Instructables website. They'll give you exact measurements. Hydrogen peroxide, vinegar, and salt. 3 chemicals. I mean, like I said, everything I got at the grocery store. Pretty darn easy to get a hold of. So this is a 16 ounce soda bottle. I filled it just above this breaking point with hydrogen peroxide. So I don't know what you'd call that, 16, 14, 12, maybe 12 ounces, 14 ounces of hydrogen peroxide. I then put in about that much vinegar. So I would say probably 2 ounces maybe, or 1.5 ounces of vinegar, and about 2 teaspoons, maybe 3 of salt. That's all I did, mixed it in there. So again, hydrogen peroxide, vinegar, and a couple of teaspoons of salt. Now, I have no idea, I don't know anything about what that makes, all right, but I know it works. I already tested it. Again, I'm going to be a little more safe here, because, you know, yeah, all this stuff came from the grocery store. How hard can it be? Well, you go ahead and mix some ammonia and some chlorine, and I'll tell you how hard it can be. For sure. So, to be a little more protective, I'm putting sleeves on. Let me come down a little here for you. My first YouTube video, right? Yeah. All right, we got sleeves on. I'm going to actually button up this top collar, because I don't need anything getting on my skin, because I don't know what it does. I'm going to wear gloves. You do what you choose to do. I'm not telling you the proper safety method. Safety is up to you. This is a disclaimer. Definitely, when you're messing with chemicals, especially when you don't know what they are, better to be safe than sorry. In this case, safety might even be first in my book. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie this rag around my face. Now, I'm not doing it for any other reason but to keep the spray from coming off my face. All right, it's not a respirator. A respirator may be a good idea, especially if you're somebody like me that breathes a lot of iron. If this rusts iron, can you imagine if you got some iron in your lungs and you breathe this stuff in, you'd be rusty lungs. So I'm just going to do this just to make sure I don't get any spray on my face. Nothing, I'm not, you know, again, just minor precautions, but what the heck, it only takes a minute, right? And there we go, let's spray. Want to see some magic? Watch. Down and down this way. Can you believe that? Do you see that? Unbelievable. Now I coated that pretty heavy. I wanted just a nice, light, even coat. Inside, outside, and all around. Unbelievable stuff. I'm going to back you up because I don't want to spray my camera. Zoom me back out. And I'll cut out whatever finds to be a little boring. Unbelievable stuff. Hopefully I'm not spraying you guys over there. The wind's in that direction. I'm nervous about that. Be buying a new camera. That's freaking amazing. Shiny new steel. So damn things have been out in the rain for a few days. Very, very cool. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this thing sit and dry. And what I want to do, although you don't have to, you can just keep coating it, keep coating it. I'm going to wipe it down and get some of that heavier rust off. Smooth everything back out again. And then do it like 3 times. So let's let that one dry a little. First coat's around, I want to show you in that sample piece that I made. Hopefully, I can't barely see what you can see. When you have good, clean, exposed steel, you get a nice textured look there. But when you have mill scale left on there, so that in this spot here, I didn't grind the mill scale totally off. That will definitely stand out in a 3-dimension too, and be blacker. So if you're looking for an even coat, you want to make sure all your mill scale's off your steel before you do anything. In this case, I actually did. I was pretty careful, but I left some on there. They want that jaggedy kind of look on there. So just wanted you to know, you'll get stuff like that if you're not totally clean. We take a look at what's going on here. This stuff's starting to dry, and again, that's why being in the sun is a helpful thing. Hopefully we're going to get a focus that we want there. Focus. I can't see if you can see it. Sons of bitches. Where's my hand? Alright, so it isn't consistent down through there. And you can see I have some mill scale here. Those are the dark spots. But that's why I like to wipe it down, or I've decided to wipe it down. So I'm going to go ahead and wipe this entire thing down. That should smooth everything out a lot more. And then we will spray it again. I want a little darker brown. Damn, that looks nice, doesn't it? So I'm just going to take a rag and just even some of that rust off. I'm not trying to remove all the rust. I'm just trying to even it out a little bit. So that when we put our second coat on, it'll hopefully get a little more even, and I'm a little more even before you know it. I don't want it totally even. We want variation in there. But, boy, that circle sure does look pretty rusted. And almost, I asked the customer if they wanted me to do something different with it, because I thought it would look better if it was silver or something, but I'm glad they said no. This looks awesome. Wow. And that was just what, guys? Just a few minutes. Just a few minutes, you change the look totally of this piece. I think that's pretty phenomenal. Science is a wonderful thing. It truly is. Again, you don't need to wipe it like I am, but I'm trying to just even things out. So what happens is your rust isn't even, but it's still rusted. It's still good, right? It kind of looks faked. Because when you have something outside, when you have something outside and it rusts for the first time, it doesn't rust even, you know, or it's too bright, or you know, it's that kind of stuff. But something that's been outside for 50 years, everything's kind of gotten where it wants to be. So, I mean, that's quite honestly, that's probably all that project needs right there. I'm gonna call it done, but I'm gonna spray it down again. Let's put another coat on here and see what it does. The wind's picked up a little here, so I want to be careful not spraying this stuff in my eyes too much. You can just see the chemical reaction occurring there. You're right in the overspray. I really don't want it standing, you know, standing puddles. You're going to get a different color with that. So on top here, it's a little more difficult, but try to get it to an even coat is what I'm after, if I can. We're not using the most controlled method of application. I've seen people wipe on stuff like this, but it kind of leaves streaks for them, and I don't like that. It's just amazing. Science is a wonderful thing. It truly is. No offense, Mother Nature. I'm just in a hurry. Try to even it out when I see spots that aren't even. I think they're there. Pretty freaking amazing. Now what I don't know, because I haven't done this enough times, you see how it's all white and foamy there? That may give me a different color, so keeping it even might be the right thing to do, but at this point I think I'm okay. Let's give it another time to dry. Now, what you do next is totally up to you. As I look at this stuff, it's almost dark enough, but you see that speckly look there? I don't know if you can see. Let me go on the other side. I'm sure it's there. Alright. That's probably in the shade. Alright. I don't like that. It looks too faked rust. So again, I think this is probably good enough to just finish it up and clear coat it. But I'm going to wipe her down one more time and we're going to give her one more coat. Put it down. Maybe you'll see the color change that occurs. It kind of blends things in a little bit. That heavier rust out. And that's, you know, I would wipe it down like this before I clear coat it. So that does blend everything in. I think I just want a little darker though. And I'm not trying to wipe hard unless I'm trying to get into where stuff is a little heavier rusted than I wanted. Just get the surface stuff off. Kind of like an eraser, I'm just kind of blending things into where I want it to be. I don't want it to look blotchy. And the clear coat will even out a lot too, so. Looking good, looking good. Yeah, I mean, Who wouldn't like the way that thing looks? Unbelievable what just a few minutes can do. But let me suit up. I'm going to spray her again. Let's give her one more spray. This is the last coat. We'll let that cook. And we'll wipe it down for the last time, and we'll be in good shape. Rust solution. I mean, I wasn't even totally full when I started this. I don't remember now, but anyway, I'm down to here now. So I didn't use a whole heck of a lot of solution to make that happen. Still be kind of proud of that serpent. I really, really am. Looks good rusted too. And there she is, wiped down after the third coat. Looks like it's been sitting outside for years and years. So very, very cool. Very happy with those results. We're going to let her sit for a little bit longer, maybe another hour or so. And then we will put a couple coats, clear coat on that thing, and it will be ready for delivery. Amazing, magical science. So a few coats of clear. Glossy like they wanted. That color is rich. I mean, it's like bronze. It's just amazing. It really is. And there you have it. So that thing is ready. If I remember to bring the camera when I deliver this evening, I'll show you the final shot.
I think we better invite people over for drinks when immediately invite people over and say, oh, by the way.
I think so.
This is where the table ends up. Isn't that beautiful?
Oh my God. And the curves lighten it up.
Yeah.
The curves just lift the tabletop. Oh, it's great.
Thing of beauty.
It is.
Alrighty guys, there you have it. First time I think I ever finished well, I guess it isn't, but I haven't done a piece rusted like this in a long time. Normally it's clear coated or it's wax or it's painted or something like that. Very, very pleased. I mean, very simple to do. Go back to the beginning of the video. It's peroxide, vinegar, and salt. Some people say the salt may or may not be needed, but it certainly gives you an awesome, awesome color when you're done. I hope you enjoyed the video, and this project is sayonara. For sure. Thanks for your support. Catch you next time.